This episode was brought to you by Pentester Academy, the leader in online cybersecurity education. Join over 10,000 professionals from 90 countries to learn security online. Also brought to you by Hacker Arsenal, artillery for cyber warriors. Visit us on hackerarsenal.com to check out our latest attack defense gadgets. I'm Marley Oxenholm from Pentester Academy TV, and welcome to our show, Access Point, where we spotlight cybersecurity companies and give an inside look at the people and technology behind the latest advancements in the industry. Today, I will be speaking with the company Whitehawk Software. I'm sitting down right now with Katrin Jakob, who is co-founder and business development at the company. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here.
Wonderful. I got a lot of great questions here from our tech team, so you ready to get started?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, so first question, can you tell us about the founding of Whitehawk Software, and who are the founders, how did you meet, and why did you come up with the idea?
So I met Chris actually at one of the many pitch events in the area, in the Bay Area here in Silicon Valley. And I was listening to his pitch, and I thought the pitch might need some improvement. And he was also talking about cybersecurity. So I thought it's a very interesting topic. And after the session, I walked up to him and we started a discussion. And Chris has been working in the code protection industry for many years. And he has seen opportunities to develop a new approach to code protection. And that's when he marched out and started developing this technology that we have today. Okay. And so we met a few times to see if you're actually compatible. And as I could not judge the technology, I said, let's go out and see if we can talk to some companies who might be interested in this technology. And so we went actually to a industrial control system, industrial manufacturing company who could be a potential customer of this technology. And we also went to a company that sells cybersecurity technologies to see and find out if their customers are requesting something that we can provide. Okay. And so we got those customer meetings, and we had really exciting discussions. We got very good feedback. And so we went back and discussed, should we have a company? And with that feedback, we thought it will be all worth it. And so we incorporated, and we started running, and we're running since.
Wonderful, okay. And now can you give us the basic elevator pitch for Whitehawk Software?
Yes, so Whitehawk Software protects mission-critical code at runtime against hacking, and the technology also protects against reverse engineering. Now, we're all aware of that software today runs the world. Many, many important processes, and there will be more in the future, are based on software. And we also know every industry is hackable today.
Yes.
So all industries are affected by hacking. And it's not only your credit card anymore that it will be hacked, but if an autonomous car is hacked, or a plane, or a nuclear facility,
anything, yeah.
Then lives are at stake. And we also know that governments are affected by hacking today. And so we have developed a technology that allows the software to check itself at runtime if it has been compromised. And we do not need to know what malware is attacking. Our technology, our protection, allows the software to check itself and recognizes code changes. In technical words, our protection recognizes unexpected changes to the execution of the application. We are closing a very critical gap. So if you want to be cyber resilient today, and it's very important, we cannot tell the customer you can be 100% protected. So what you can do is to implement as many layers of protections as you can, and that are available to you, that you can say, I did everything I could to protect what I need to protect. And so those layers are in place, but one layer has been neglected, and that is the code, the software itself. We are closing this gap. Our technology protects the code, the software at runtime.
Okay, wonderful. And I know you just touched on this briefly, but what exactly makes your solution different from other software security strategies? If you could just elaborate a little more on that.
So we are unique in several ways. And the first way is that we protect at the binary level. We protect at the object file level. And that allows for very strong protection. The second thing we are very unique in is that an engineer can precisely define performance, impact, and protection strength. And the third one, we have developed extensive. The third one is we have developed extension mechanism that allow easy integration of our protection with the software and the hardware of the customer. And we do not tell the engineer what tool chain to use. And I explained those 4 points a little bit more. So protecting at the object file level allows very strong protection. It enables us to use the complexity of the computer in the protection, and the protection is not depending on what the programming language can express. It also allows to protect libraries, single libraries. We can protect now very large programs, and we can protect separate programming. So the second question we usually get is, what is the performance impact? And our technology adds code to the code, so that has certainly a performance impact, but it's very hard to define this number because it depends on your application.
Right.
But the important part is that with our technology, the engineer is able to precisely define that performance impact and find a balance between the performance impact and the protection strength. The third part very unique, and we have developed a lot of extension mechanism that make it very easy for the customer to integrate the customer software and hardware. And again, going back to the engineer, as we're coming from an engineering background, we want to make it as easy on the engineer as possible. So he can use whatever tool chain he's using, and he can also he can use whatever tool chain he is using, and he can easily implement our tool.
Okay, wonderful. And so now, what stage would you say that Whitehawk is in, and who are your typical customers?
So we are a very young company, and we are presently bootstrapped, and we would like to raise seed funding. That's where we are in right now. And our customers can put into two different pockets, so to say, our potential customer. So one is, and that's our target customer in the first place, these are customers who really want to protect their code. For those customers, the code is very important. And this is the defense industry, like in Northrop Grumman. This is the banking industry. These are the industrial control system industries. They will put a lot of time using our tool and preparing that protection with our tool. On the other side are companies who want an easy push-button protection, which is hard to do. We have some features ready for that, and we'll continue to work on this. But as everybody can imagine, as cybersecurity is very technical, ideally you just have a push-button protection. And so we can make it easy on you. We can provide something like this, but the performance impact might be too heavy. If that doesn't matter to you, you can use that push-button protection. So these are the two main sides of our customers. I have not mentioned yet a third customer or use case. We also protect against reverse engineering. So somebody who has developed a very important algorithm in their software wants to protect that algorithm against reverse engineering before he gets the product out. Because somebody, if it's not protected, can just read out that code and create the same product.
True.
And so interestingly enough, companies have approached us. And there were two companies. One was a company that has developed a very important data compression algorithm, and another company who had developed a speech recognition company. And they were particularly looking for reverse engineering technology. Another big problem, so for customers, is trust, I would say. So we all know that cybersecurity is a very, very complex problem, and it gets very technical very quickly. So first of all, we are a very young company, and if somebody like a banking company comes to us, and what we are protecting are their crown jewels. So we have to build trust in the first place. Can we deliver actually on the solution we say we have? And once that trust is established, then it's a little bit easier. On the other side, again, as I mentioned, cybersecurity is very complex. What we expect from the customer is that the customer needs to educate itself. So it's not going to help if we go out there like after a big breach in the news, and then take the phone and say, well, you have heard about all this bad stuff and you need to be protected. So that's probably is not helping anybody.
Right.
So the customer needs to educate himself, and we know it's complicated, and we are ready to help you, to educate you on the solution we have. This is another challenge, right? So do the companies know what layers of protection they need to implement, and do they need code tamper-proofing? Luckily, there are companies who know exactly what they want, and they have actually reached out to us. They know exactly we need code tamper-proofing.
Wow.
We have 1,000 applications, they need to be protected. That's a relative easy case to get in. But other companies might not know what they need. And so again, they need to learn that for themselves, and then we come in. The other problem is with the who do we approach, right? So is it a board problem, cybersecurity? Does it need to be defined and decided in the board, or is it the engineering group? So our tool will be implemented by the engineering group, and we love to talk to the engineer, but the decision finally might actually be made by the board or the CEO. So we have to approach both sides. We're happy to talk technical, but we have to kind of translate the technology and the value of the technology so that the higher up people, the CEO, the CISOs, actually can understand what we provide and what value we can provide to the company. So these are the challenges that we have with the customers, and how a customer looks like. There is a fourth group of customer, interestingly enough, and these are cybersecurity companies themselves.
Okay.
So if you imagine you protect the code, you protect the cloud, or you are in a signature company or an authentication company, what you provide is software also, and that software also can be compromised. So yeah, even cybersecurities need in certain cases our protection to tamper-proof their protection solution. If you want to protect data, the data are defined by code, right? Code tells the data where to go, and that code also needs to be protected. So when you say you need data protection, we would not directly protect the data, but the software that deals with the data, that is also protected by us.
Okay, wonderful. And so now, what would you say that some of the main challenges are customers to adopting anti-tampering technology?
So this is a very good question, and there are many, many challenges actually. The very first one, so we are a very young company, and if you imagine a company comes to us and asks for protection of their software, it's usually their crown jewels. And as we are a young company, we have to convince them that we can deliver on the technology we actually say we have. You have to build trust, we have to have several meetings, and the second challenge is that cybersecurity is a very complex problem and is very technical. So to approach a customer, we first have to think about what part of the company we approach. We love to talk to the engineers, and the engineers are the ones who are going to implement our solution. But the decisions, if code tamper-proofing is needed, is usually decided higher up on the management team. And so while we love to talk to the engineers, we have to convey the message of the technology and the value to the company, and that is very often not easy to do, especially technology-wise. But I wanna say again, so it's the crown jewel that you have there. It's the software, and an engineer works months on that software. Why would you not protect that software? Why would you put it out, that software? So
absolutely,
it should be a critical part. If you write mission-critical code that goes in a mission-critical product, you should protect your software. And the companies have to educate. So very important for a customer, as I mentioned in the very beginning, a customer has to protect, has to be cyber resilient, and to do this, you have to implement several layers. And the customer needs to educate himself what technology he needs. And if he can't do it himself, he needs to get help and support. And we are happy to educate on the technology we have, but we are just one part. We are just one certain layer of the overall cybersecurity package that a company usually needs. And the customer needs to educate himself, and we're happy to educate the customer.
Wonderful. And lastly, what are the company's plans for 2018?
So we would like to grow.
Yep.
We are ready for one platform. I didn't mention that earlier. Our product is ready for x86 32-bit.
Okay.
And we're looking for industry partner who work with us. Ideally, it's the industrial manufacturing companies who put their manufacturing on the IoT. Mm-hmm. So those systems need to be protected. We get many requests, of course, for protections in the cloud and for everything IoT related, maybe your mobile application, many other things. And our tool is ready to be ported, but we need some manpower to do this. And we have started working on ARM. This will be the next platform we're ready for.
Okay.
But there are many other customers who are asking for many other platforms. And so we would like to build out the company, raise some seed funding to strengthen the engineering team as well as the sales power in the company.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing more from the company then next year. Thank you for speaking with us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And that's all the time we have for today, so be sure to tune in next time for another episode of Access Point. Also, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook so you don't miss out on any of the latest cybersecurity news. This episode is brought to you by Pentester Academy, the leader in online cybersecurity education. Join over 10,000 professionals from 90 countries to learn security online. Also brought to you by Hacker Arsenal, artillery for cyber warriors. Visit us on hackerarsenal.com to check out our latest attack defense gadgets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.